And now let's go to manga news. We might jump back into anime news sooner rather than later, but let's talk about some manga news. And I'm going to need my glasses for this one, so I'm going to take out my glasses. Nearly hit that on a desk. That's great. Anyway, so yeah, it's like, I need these. I actually need these for real.
Breaking news: Matt has just smashed his glasses on the glass table.
Basically, not good. Not good at all. Okay, so
Keikaku Korner hangs in the balance.
yeah. Next episode of My Hero Academia. So I'm looking at some of these numbers here. This is, by the way, so let's clarify. And also, if you guys don't know, we do have the links to all of our articles in the description box below. You're watching this through our YouTube channel. But anyway, so we're talking about Bookscan and having the top 20 adult graphic novels. It's funny it says adult graphic novels because, like, I feel like when I tell people, "Oh, I read adult graphic novels," they're like, "Excuse me." And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say it's not Pokemon.
Not that one.
I'm trying to say
Right.
I'm trying to say it's not Pokemon or Digimon. Yeah. But anyway, so it's very interesting that manga, like, I feel like people are talking about like the death of physical releases for stuff. And to be fair, Bookscan, I don't think Bookscan is it only takes into account physical releases. To be fair. Because it ranks other chains, but it also ranks online purchases. I just think the idea is very interesting that manga isn't dead in the U.S. Where like people would think like, oh, you know, especially with the amount of people that love anime, you would think like, oh, manga, it's dead and gone, and no one's picking up those physical releases, and Barnes and Nobles, it's gone, and all that stuff. I mean, my local Barnes and Nobles closed down.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I mean, it happens. It's so odd though because it became a Target, and I was no. Here's what's weird, Tristan. I was in there because a friend of mine who I went to see Rampage with. God, that was the thing. So we went to see Rampage, and when we were in there, she had to take out some money from the ATM. So we were in there, and it was just so odd because I felt like my brain was glitching out because I could picture what everything used to be.
Oh wow, that's trippy.
It really is because you can just look around and be like, "Oh God, that was there," because it's the same building. It's just, and it's not like anything has been. Just everything that was in there in terms of like shelves and I mean, even the registers were in the same spot. So it was because it made sense. Why would you move them to the back of the store? It's not near the fucking door, right? So, but it just was so odd to just kind of see everything and just kind of like have my brain just jump between what it used to be versus what it was. But anyway, so manga, thankfully, seemingly is here to stay, at least for the time being. But it's so interesting how one of the biggest, from looks of it, actually what's very interesting is how Cardcaptor Sakura is still in the game. Yeah. That's interesting at number 16. But looking at this list right here, we have top 20. We're only talking about the manga listings though. So it doesn't look like we have a manga listing at number 1, sadly. Tears. Although apparently it was a Viz Media release at number 1, but it was Homestuck.
Right.
What? I didn't know that was a thing, but okay. I know Homestuck exists, but I didn't know it was being released by Viz Media. But anyway, but we have here at number 4, Tokyo Ghoul RE. Have never seen Tokyo Ghoul, but that's, I think, another Funimation series that's on, or was on, that was on Toonami, yeah. So again, Toonami block is the Funimation block. So, at number 6, we had Attack on Titan, which you and I have podcasted on before. We just finished a podcast on Season 2 fairly recently for Anna Saturday. And it was Attack on Titan Volume 24 at number 6. Number 8 was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Volume 3, which is interesting because that's something I knew about, sort of, but I didn't really know too much about. My Hero Academia Volume 1. And by the way, we're at My Hero Academia Volume 11, at least, I would like to mention. The reason why I'm saying this is because literally number 11 on this list is My Hero Academia Volume 1. Why is that relevant? Because number 13 is Volume 11. Right. So apparently the hype for My Hero Academia has gotten so high that a bunch of people, I assume, younger fans perhaps,
are starting to get into it.
Yeah, to the point where number 1 was at number 11. Well, Volume 11 is like, I'll come in at 13 just for you, bud.
Yeah.
And then Tokyo Ghoul RE Volume number 3 was at number 15. And then scrolling down here, Cardcaptor Sakura, Clear Card, which is the newest Cardcaptor Sakura. Volume 3, coming in at number 16. And then apparently, One Punch Man Volume 13 comes in at number 18. 19 is Tokyo Ghoul Ari Volume 1, which I think is where a Volume 1 should be, right? By the time you have newer volumes out, they should kind of be lower on the list. And then number 20, the original Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. Interesting. Sadly, with this article itself, I don't have the exact numbers, which is also kind of hard sometimes to see what the exact numbers are on some of these volumes, because these companies don't necessarily want that to get out. At least the Japanese side prefers to kind of keep that under wraps, and the U.S. side usually doesn't have any incentive to be like, unless it's to people in like investors, right? So if you're on an investor call, then sure, perhaps you might be able to hear some numbers here and there, but other than that, usually these companies, you don't really hear like, oh, this DVD sold this much, unless you're going through these other means, and even then it's still hard to track what's what. I mean, I'm reading this article. Apparently, NPD Bookscan, it's a Bookscan. No, Bookscan announced in September it plans to add in sales numbers from comic book stores in partnership with Diamond Comics and indie retailers in the coming year, but hasn't yet revealed a specific date the change will take place. So that means that your local comic book shop, Tristan, that also sells anime on the side, they don't even have those numbers.
Right.
They don't have those numbers if they bought those those anime, or those and manga through Diamond. They'd really be buying manga, not so much anime. But if they bought those through Diamond distributors, which Diamond distributors usually works with distributing comic books to comic book shops, if they bought it through them, then Bookscan has no idea what those numbers are. So for all we know, freaking My Hero Academia is like number one. Volume 1 is like super number 1. For all we know, Attack on Titan is even higher. For all we know, at the local comic book shop, you have a bunch of people like, I would like to buy Cardcaptor Sakura, right? Yeah. For all we know, Cardcaptor Sakura could be number 1, guys. You have like Clamp fans who are like, it is in our minds. But it's so interesting. So how do you feel about this? Are you on the My Hero Academia hype train? Have you gotten on that train yet? I haven't seen it yet. But I love...
Yeah, I mean, I'm on that train. I've seen clips. I've seen the first episode. I've been meaning to get into it and watch the first season, because I know season 3 is starting up.
It's actually currently airing. It's funny.
Yeah.
I was filming with a fellow... Yeah, I was filming with a fellow Let's Player recently for an episode that's actually coming out this weekend. Not telling you who, that's a surprise. It'll be on Those Guys Play, our YouTube channel, right? So, that YouTube... Yeah, gasp. But I was at their house... And they were literally like, hey, by the way, just letting you know, at one point I'm going to have to watch My Hero Academia. And I was like, okay. And they were like, it comes out at 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, want me to wake you? And they were like, no, I'll watch it later. But I'm letting you know that tomorrow I will be watching My Hero Academia. I was like, okay. And it's funny. So I know nothing about the show other than the openings. At least the newest one is really good. It's by Overworld.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll send it to you, Tristan. It's really good. Also, that movie's coming out soon-ish, and a video game is coming out later this year, a fighting game for the PS4. Oh, cool. Yeah. So that's very interesting. That's not the game that we're playing on the Let's Play. It's not out yet, but it is coming out sometime later this year. Anyway, so I'm not on the hype train yet, but apparently it's also on Toonami. You can watch it on Toonami now, Tristan. Just watch it weekly, dude. But yeah, so there's 3 seasons of that, and again, apparently it's doing so well that Volume 1 is number 11. Like, holy... I just love when a Volume 1 is higher than the newest volume, which is like, some people would say that that's obvious because of the amount of people that may have dropped off, but that doesn't mean that, just be like, you could say, oh, but people dropped off, so that's why Volume 13 is lower. Yeah, but Volume 1, you should have a crowd that feels content with the fact that they already have the first volume purchased. But no, Tristan. You have more people jumping on to the point where it's rivaling and even going higher than the amount of people that have still stuck around. Dear God, sticked around. What time is it? When are we recording this? That is still stuck around. That's intense, Tristan. Like, let's make a note that, like, out of all the Attack on Titan fans, and yes, it's number 6, volume 24, but Attack on Titan number 1 isn't anywhere on here. You know,
Right.
None of the Attack on Titan volumes are anywhere on here, other than the first, other than volume 24 at number 6. But even it was very interesting is how Tokyo Ghoul, something that apparently, like, I've heard it was popular. I know it's getting a live action adaptation if it doesn't have one already in movie form.
Right.
If it doesn't get one already, but I'm pretty sure it was coming up. It's just so interesting. I didn't realize it was that popular. Where we'd end up having it on the same list, 1, 2, 3, and then the original as number 4 times.
Right.
That's intense. You know.
I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it. It looked interesting, but it's kind of on the same gore aspect as
Dead Man.
Probably like Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah. You were okay with it, but you weren't like, oh man,
there were some scenes that I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. But
I guess I'm not sleeping tonight. I didn't need to see that one.
Right. So, I mean, either way, I'm very happy with this list. Again, people are still buying that manga. And that's great, right? It doesn't matter if you get it. I mean, I would prefer getting it physically, but you know what? You get it digitally too, whatever. As long as you're happy, you're enjoying your manga, that's awesome. And we got to get on that My Hero Academia hype train. I got to get someone to podcast on that. So, yeah. Stop it. I can't even see him, everyone. But I heard the accusations, and then